While I was in San Antonio, Texas, I stayed at the Drury Plaza Hotel, not to be confused with the Drury Inn and Suites, which is just a few blocks down the road, both of which are on the Riverwalk. Following my dedicated room tour video, I'll be giving you an extensive, comprehensive hotel tour, including the 2 towers that make up this hotel. So if you're interested in something specific, feel free to skip around via the chapter markers. Let's first talk about the entrances. So from afar, it's pretty easy to tell that this is the Drury Plaza Hotel, but once you get close up, it's not very obvious. There's no clear signs denoting that this is it. If you're getting dropped off, there's a possibility that they may drop you off here at the Alamo National Building sign on the side. On the glass, it does say Drury Plaza Hotel, but as you can see, it is not accessible unless you already have the hotel key card. So the first time you actually have to pull through what looks like a garage. So you just pull up through here, get registered in the lobby, and then if you do need to leave a vehicle here are the daily and nightly rates. It is all valet parking, so you do need to be cognizant of when potentially could be a busy time so that you don't want to get stuck behind a backlog of drivers trying to get their car, so they even have a sign about that. Now let's go inside and check out the lobby floor. The high ceilings in the design are because it used to be a bank. They kept quite a few of the bank's elements throughout the building, which I'll point out throughout this video. But you can see this is the main check-in area, and this is where you can pick up your physical key cards so you can access your room, and of course hotel after hours, including that side entrance, as well as information about the hotel amenities, hours. And since it does have 2 towers, there's a brief card that summarizes where everything is. And of course, if you are over 21, they'll give you a Kickback drink card, good for 3 alcoholic beverages per day of your stay. But let's explore how much we can find on this first floor. So you can see there's plenty of various seating all around. This is basically spillover seating for kickback time and breakfast, which are both complimentary, and I'll mention later on in this video. But you can fill up your water bottle or get some water from this table over here. Over here is the teller's bar. So this is the restaurant, bar restaurant that's open late at night. But with so many options on the Riverwalk, you probably want to explore other places. But just outside this area, again, a lot more seating, including collab spaces with outlets. And that might come in handy because there is one meeting room that you can rent right here. And then there is a rack of tourist magazines or attractions that you can riffle through if you need some ideas. But right next to that is their business center, which includes 2 Windows computers and a printer. But traveling over now to the other end of the lobby, you'll see some decor reminiscent of the old bank. This was actually the original entrance for the bank, but it is completely blocked off. It's really just for decorative purposes now at this point. And next to that is this antique car, which is again also for decorative purposes. Apparently it's from the Drury family collection. In the adjacent corner, you can find a standalone ATM, which is right next to the hotel's market, where you can purchase a whole bunch of overpriced snacks, beverages, and did I mention more snacks? And there are a few sundries or toiletry items that you can also buy here. And there's some frozen food or ice cream and some bottled or canned alcoholic beverages. And if you're curious about pricing, here it is. The normal hours of this market are as follows. Moving on to the Riverwalk level, you can actually access directly in the hotel via the staircases right here. And at the base of the staircase, you can see some artifacts of, again, the bank technology at the time. If you take a few steps even further, you can see the insides of a vault door, which is pretty cool. But otherwise, this floor is functionally more for meeting rooms. There are restrooms near the staircase, and this is probably the best place to use the restroom aside from the second floor, since there's no public restrooms on the first lobby floor. But past these doors, there are some larger meeting rooms that again you can reserve. And if this is your first time in San Antonio, there's some nice wall-to-wall skyline photos if you want to take a pic. But otherwise, if you continue down the hallway, you'll reach the outside, which is the Riverwalk. The Drury Plaza Hotel is pretty much on the far end of the touristy area of the Riverwalk, so you'll want to keep going in this direction for all the shops and restaurants. Now let's check out the other floor. So right now when you walk in, you are in the Alamo Tower, and it's cool that they kept this mailbox right here near the elevators of the side doors, so you can kind of see the various elevators on which floor. But to call even one elevator, you need to scan your hotel keycard, which is a little bit of a departure from other hotel elevators I've seen where you would scan the keycard once you're inside the elevator. And fair warning, even though there are 6 of these elevators, it does get pretty busy, especially during like breakfast hours. So try to take advantage of the staircase when traveling between the lobby and the second floor. The Alamo Tower has a total of 23 floors, including the roof, most of which of course contain guest rooms. And if you're curious about the rooms, you can check out my separate video where I did a full room tour. But in this video, I'm just going to go over the amenities in this tower. So the second floor is where you'll find the food, so where you can get your breakfast and also a kickback. I'll dive into exactly what they offer later on in this video. The fourth floor contains more meeting rooms, but these are like larger scale rooms. They're ballrooms. I wish I could show you the inside, but unfortunately, if you don't have a reservation, they're regularly locked. I couldn't even show you like where the restrooms are at. Once you're on the fourth floor, you're pretty much only greeted with closed doors and the elevators. There are ice machines and guest laundry on the 6th and 22nd floor. Even though the sign also says vending machine, I can tell you there is no vending machine to be found. My guess is they're just trying to minimize food in these open areas, because I definitely saw a ginormous cockroach on the 22nd floor. On the 22nd floor, you'll find one of the guest laundry rooms, which is accessible via hotel keycard 24/7. You'll find that they have a little bit more upgraded laundry machines. There are 2 washers, 2 dryers, and each of them accept Apple Pay or credit card and costs $3 per load. And if you do need laundry detergent, stain remover, or fabric softener, you can purchase it here on the wall, but you do need coins for these. Also on the 22nd floor, I'd like to show you the terrace, which is open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. here in this Alamo Tower as well. This is a nice spot if you want to eat or just chat, hang out outside while enjoying the nice cityscape of San Antonio. But I do want to point out that while there's some slats above you, it's not going to be rainproof, and it's also not, of course, 100% shaded. So that's also something to keep in mind, especially in the hot summer months in Texas. And now let's take a look at the fitness center. Open 24/7, accessible by hotel keycard. It's not a particularly big gym for the size of this hotel, but there is a rack of dumbbells ranging from 5 pounds to 35 pounds, 2 benches, some yoga mats in the corner with not too much space to spread out, yoga balls in that corner, and quite a few cardio equipment, including 4 treadmills, a sit-down bike, a pulley system, 2 ellipticals, and in this corner there's actually a water fountain. You can refill your water bottle here. Then a leg press machine and a bicep curl up machine, towels, and wipes. There are a few mirrors scattered in this gym, but it's nice that they do have a good view out the window to bring in some natural light. As for the rooftop pool, I know the sign says to go to floor 22, but if you want the direct access, you should actually go to the top floor, the 23rd floor. From here, you have direct access to the floor level, and just before you head out to the pool, there are some plastic cups in case you need to switch out your glass containers and also pick up a towel. Otherwise, if you go from the 22nd floor, you will still have the opportunity to use a plastic cup and pick up a towel. But after you again use your key card to access, you will have to walk quite a bit of ways to even get to the spa floor. But you can at least enjoy some of the nice scenery. If you do need assistance, there is actually a lift, because there is going to be a few flights of stairs, firstly to get to the first spa. And it's one of those portable ones, so you can see that it has a max capacity of 4 people. As usual, no lifeguard on duty either on the spa or the pool, so definitely monitor any children. But since this one is located away from the pool, it does offer a little bit more privacy, and you can still get a nice view of the city from here. Since we're talking about Texas here, definitely don't stay in for longer than 10 minutes, and if the temperature is higher than 104 degrees, I advise you to not use it. The lift is able to make it up to this level in addition to the actual outdoor pool deck. It's a decent sized rooftop pool with a step entry and a depth ranging from 3.5 feet down to 5 feet. As usual, no lifeguard on duty, so swim at your own risk. Same goes with this other spa in the corner on the pool deck level. It's the same deal. It's one of those portable spas. Even though it's on the pool deck level, it's still in a nice kind of quiet corner here that you can still enjoy the panoramic view. A good option for, say, parents who want to get a nice soak but still monitor your kids in the pool. Even if you don't want to be in the water, there are plenty of seating all around the pool, and there are speakers I noticed mounted around, so it's possible that you could maybe use this as a place for a pool party. But I do kind of wish that they had actual shade. Again, they have these slats as awnings that somewhat block out the sun, but not really. Since I was here during the summer, I would say that the best time to use this pool is definitely at night, but keep in mind that the pool hours are only from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. There is an indoor pool, which is actually in the San Fernando Tower, which is where we're headed next. The San Fernando Tower can be accessed from the 6th floor of the Alamo Tower via the elevator, and then it's just a little bit of a walk to get to the elevator in the other building. Once in the elevator, you see there are some very limited floor options. The indoor pool and courtyard is on floor 9, but unfortunately when I was there, it was actually closed due to renovations. But no need to pull your hair out. There's actually even a terrace on the roof of this tower where you can sit outside and enjoy the weather. But let's go ahead and make our way to the indoor pool. There are some public restrooms nearby, but at least when I was there, the women's one was out of order, so you definitely want to change before coming all the way here. The pool hours are from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, and you'll need to use your hotel key card to access. As you can see, it's a pool and also a hot tub kind of combined. The spa or hot tub area does eat into the pool's real estate. It's also kind of a weird shape as well. I did have kind of a hard time trying to swim laps in here since I do try to keep up my lap swimming when I'm on the go. The floor of the pool is a different material than what I'm used to. It's not like concrete where it's relatively fine granules. It actually has quite big bumps, so it can be very rough if you rub your feet the wrong way on the bottom. I also wish that the pool was internally lit more because it's pretty dark to swim here at night. I'm also not a fan that the ladder for the 5 feet end is right in the middle of the longest end of the pool, disrupting, again, lap swimming. Wish it was on the side. There is also step entry at the shallower end, which starts at, again, 3.5 feet. There is a pool lift if you need that. You just need to make sure you let the hotel know if you need to use it. Again, no lifeguard on duty, so swim at your own risk and also use the spa at your own risk. You can see it goes down to 3.5 feet, but there are some steps to sit on. Towels can be found here near this entrance, and all around the pool you can find regular lounge seating. And at certain times, this door will be unlocked, allowing you to enjoy the view or the fresh air outside on this balcony. Another spot would be on the top floor, the 15th floor, to access the terrace, but it's not like you are directly faced with the outside. There's quite a bit of a hallways walk before you reach the door for the terrace, and this is unlocked from 6 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. There is a good amount of seating, though not very well lit at night. Though in the day there is a little bit of this perforated covering. Again, it's not fully shaded. I don't know what it is about this hotel, or maybe San Antonio in general, with not having full coverage for shade. But at least this panoramic view is super breathtaking, both in the day and also at night. And if you did need to use the restroom, thankfully there are some right inside. Now let's talk about food, starting off with their complimentary hot breakfast. Again, this is located on the 2nd floor. They have your grab-and-go fruits like apple, banana, oranges. They have 2 actual drink stations. There's coffee, tea, though I didn't really see any just hot water dispensers, so maybe you have to take that with you to your room. But you can also dispense some juice and soft drinks. And luckily, if it gets crowded, there's actually another section that has the same options on the other side. And if you're wondering where's the coffee creamer and sugars, well, it's actually here in this separate middle island. Then on one end, you will find the breakfast cereal. So there's a 2% milk dispenser. Unfortunately, there's no lactose-free option, but there are a few cereal choices. And yogurt, which they only served strawberry when I was there the whole time. But right next to that, you can find some hot oatmeal and toppings to go along with it. Moving on to the hot foods, they're all lined up towards the back. It's your typical American style breakfast. These sort of change up every day, but you'll always have some kind of carbs and protein, some version of scrambled eggs. And sometimes I do see maybe rollover, I don't want to say leftover, but rollover foods from the Kickback. So some of these I found that doesn't quite make sense as breakfast food, like the salsa. But there's definitely the classic pancakes, and you can dribble your syrup on with the condiments over there. But you also have the option to make your own waffle or toast. You have option of English muffin, various different breads, bagel slices of bread, and muffins. As a result, I had plenty of options to choose from and can change things up throughout the days that I stayed there. There is a decent amount of seating right near where the food is, and there's even high chairs for small children. But if you needed to, you can always move downstairs where there's definitely much more seating. As for the Kickback, it's located in the same location as where the breakfast is served. Some things they keep the same, like the coffee stations, tea and soft drink dispenser, but they do cover up the juices and the milk, which is a little bit of a bummer because if you have kids, I think the preference for parents is to have a healthier option versus obviously coffee, tea, or soft drink. But let's take a look at the food options. So there are some staples that are there every day. For example, nachos, hot dogs, some kind of soup, and can't forget the popcorn. But then they do have several types of food that they rotate in this main back table. So if you can put up with mediocre American hotel food, you can save quite a bit of money by just eating their Kickback for dinner. But perhaps one of the main reasons to stay at the Drury is their Kickback bar service. And in this Drury, they actually have 2 bars, so you just need to go to the opposite ends to find a spot for you. But they have a few wine and beer selections, pretty much all the liquors you can imagine. So you can get that cocktail that you want, plus 2 more since you're allowed to get 3 alcoholic beverages per day. And if you're wondering where the restrooms are, it's close to the elevators when you walk towards the left. Phew, so that's everything for the Drury Plaza Hotel on the Riverwalk in San Antonio. Overall, I had a pretty pleasant stay here. I've honestly been pretty impressed with the Druries that I've stayed in, and this one is no different. As a swimmer, the standout feature for me definitely is the fact that they have 2 pools, one indoor if it's too hot to go on the rooftop, which is pretty rare for any other hotel around this price range on the Riverwalk. Unfortunately, I did stumble across that giant cockroach on the 22nd floor, but otherwise I didn't find it in my room that I stayed in. If you're curious about the room, definitely check out my channel. I've done the whole room tour already, but if you found this video helpful, please let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe for more travel videos like this. Thanks for watching.